Welcome to the Mosquito Magnet Catch 2, or aka the Mosquito Massacre 2. A few years back I made a video where I showed the results of running this for a tank of propane and the number of mosquitoes I caught, and it went viral. I had no intention of it being a big splashy video. I just shot it real quick on my phone, so I'll link to it here. But anyway, since that video had so much interest, I figured I'll do one more and show, multiple years later how well this unit is doing, and answer some of the other questions that came in on my last video. So, this is a mosquito magnet. It runs on propane, as you can see. One tank of propane. I used 2 tanks this season, so about $24 or $26 worth of propane for the whole season. Not a lot. The trap itself is like 300 bucks. It's not cheap. It does really well though. I like it better than like the light traps, because all this does is catch mosquitoes. It doesn't catch moths or anything else. It's just mosquitoes. Same thing with, I had people suggesting, just get a box fan, put a screen over it. I've seen those videos on YouTube. They do seem to be effective, but again, it catches like all kinds of different bugs, good and bad. So I just want to deal with mosquitoes, and that's what this does. So the way this works, you have a propane tank. The unit takes the propane in. When using not much more than an average pilot light you'd find in like a water heater or something, burns the propane. It has a little catalytic converter to really get it hot and create CO2. CO2 then travels out the machine and out this little spout right here. Mosquitoes tend to fly upwards when they want to get away or get startled or whatever. At least that's according to what I read. So when they come here, they don't find something to latch onto. I guess they'll kind of tend to fly upwards. This bell is a vacuum. There's a fan inside that pulls air in, so they drift up, they get caught in the vacuum, go up through the machine, all the way around, and come into this area, which is a net. There they sit and they dry out. Now we'll get into the catch here in just a minute. For the people who say, but what about all the animals that rely, bats, birds, whatever, frogs, that rely on mosquitoes as a food source? All around my property, this is what's behind me, nothing but woods. The light area out there is a big wetland. The little depression you can maybe see running all along is a small, slow stream. There are more wetlands out there. In short, I have nothing but woods and water, and it's an excellent source of mosquitoes if left unchecked. So there are absolutely more than enough mosquitoes around here to sustain animals. If you walk just a little bit out there, you're going to be attacked. And I mean, like in prime season, swarms of mosquitoes, where it will drive you crazy to be out there. You have to spray on all kinds of bug spray if you're going to go out and not get bitten 1,000 times. That's what happens in my backyard if I don't run this. As long as I'm running the mosquito magnet, I get, there's still mosquitoes. It's not a miracle device, but it's more manageable. There'll be a couple of mosquitoes here or there, no big deal. I can actually be out in the yard without dousing myself in DEET and, enjoy my backyard. So that's that. Now, let me get you over to a table here. I'll dock the camera on the tripod and we'll go ahead and look at the catch. Okay, as I mentioned, mosquitoes end up in this basket, and they just sit there and dry out, and they're dead. So every once in a while you just open this up and you can see mosquitoes in there. One of the questions was from last time, how many mosquitoes was that? And I had just put out my tape measure to kind of measure the pile because I didn't want to count and weigh, but I'll do that this time. So this isn't a whole terrible lot of mosquitoes compared to the last time in my last video. Still some in there, but it won't matter that much. That's 4 grams, 5 grams of mosquitoes, but that was the second time I emptied it. The first time I emptied it this year, I caught all that. So now we're up to 17, 18 grams of mosquitoes. So what I'm going to do now is kind of reset, and I'm going to count out 1 gram of mosquitoes and see how many that is, and then we'll have an estimate of how many mosquitoes I caught this season. So let's do that. Alright, I'm going to start counting them out. I'll do this in fast forward because it's probably going to take a while, but I'll leave the camera running so you can see. Okay, so the scale turned off. This is going to take too long to do it properly. Well, it's going to take too long to count them onto the scale. So I'm just going to turn the scale back on, just lump in 1 gram of mosquitoes, and then I'll work backwards by counting them out that way. Okay, I got 1 gram. That's a pretty good pile. It's going to take me a while. I'm not even going to leave the camera running. I'm just going to count them, and I'll come back when it's done. Okay, very rough count, 1,565. Mosquitoes are kind of like Velcro, I've decided. They stick together very well, and they're all dried out and fragile, so this is just a rough ballpark. I tried to count them all, but you know, that's what I got up to, 1,565. You know, I will say, back on in regards to food source, if I come out at dusk, I see bats everywhere around here, so we're good. There's plenty of mosquitoes and stuff. Alright, now, one of the other things people wanted to see, and probably the most popular single comment in the comments of the last video, were simply stating, burn it. I don't know if mosquitoes are flammable, but they are dried out. So well, no, that's pretty vile looking smoke. I don't know if it's coming through on the camera, but that was really yellowish. Let me move this back in the center a little bit. You get another fresh bunch of mosquitoes. Alright, let's do this. We'll get a little closer. Well, they burn a little bit, but They don't really sustain a burn. So that's one question answered. That's probably about enough of playing with mosquitoes. I don't know what else to do with them. The smell is not great, I'll tell you that. If you've ever burned hair, yeah, it's a little worse than that. So anyway, I don't think there are any other questions. Mainly it was how many were there, and you know, can you burn them? I will say that after multiple years, I don't know how long I've had a mosquito magnet now, like approaching 15 years or so, I think, maybe more like 10, I don't know, but they've worked well. I mean, that's, you know, I put the total count of how many mosquitoes I think I caught this year up on the screen earlier, but that is not as many as there would be had I not been running for all this time. You know, I keep the population depressed. You know, if you don't know, only the female mosquito bites. So every one of these mosquitoes is a female. That means that many mosquitoes weren't breeding more mosquitoes. I'm not sure how many larvae a female mosquito can produce in a year, but I'll look that up and put it up on the screen. But you know, that number of larvae by that many mosquitoes is how many roughly I kept from reproducing, and you can imagine how many mosquitoes that kept out of my yard. So anyway, if anybody has any questions, put them in the comments below. If there's some other things I can explore, maybe there'll be a Mosquito Massacre 3. So like last time, I dumped the mosquitoes out in the yard. For all the frog and toad friends I have out here, they are rather plentiful, and I have to keep an eye on them when I'm mowing. But yeah, if they're so inclined, they have a free buffet tonight. And that'll do it for now. If you have any other questions, please leave them in the comments. I watch my videos for any questions, and we'll get back to you pretty quickly. Otherwise, if you're curious about mosquito magnets and want a little bit more info, look at my other videos, and I have maintenance videos on taking these apart and cleaning them up. They're not perfect machines. They're a little finicky. I'm not going to sugarcoat it, but they work well when they're working. And you know, as long as you're not afraid of doing a little work on them, I do recommend them. You know, they're not for everybody. You know, I fully get that. And but anyway, I think that's it for today. If you have any, like I said, any other questions, leave them in the comments, and you all have a good day, and talk to you next video.